This is the Korean peninsula. For over 1,000 years it was a single country, Korea, with a culture stretching back thousands of years. But when it regained its independence after the Second World War, it got split into two separate countries, North and South Korea, that have had a radical divergence ever since. The North is isolated from the rest of the world and ruled by the dictatorial Kim family, while the South exports products and culture globally and is a healthy democracy. This makes a comparison of their two capital cities a perfect example of how people with a shared history can diverge mainly based on the institutions and policies the country adopts. Where Seoul and Pyongyang are as different as night and day. This video will compare Seoul and Pyongyang in 5 different ways: their geography, history, population, economy, and architecture. When it comes to the two capitals' geography, they are similar in the fact that they are placed a bit inland from the Yellow Sea on the Korean peninsula, and that they center around rivers, with Seoul having the Han River flowing through it, and Pyongyang having the Taedong River in its center. They differ in that Seoul is further south and set in a mountainous and hilly area, while Pyongyang is placed farther north on a plain, called the Pyongyang Plain, making it a much more flat area. Looking at the two cities' histories, they are both ancient, both being older than a fully unified Korea itself by several hundreds of years, but both being considered part of Korea's lineage. Seoul traces its history back to 18 BC, when it was founded by people from Paekje during Korea's Three Kingdoms period, making it over 2,000 years old. Seoul became the capital of a fully unified Korea back in 1394, during the Joseon Kingdom period, and remained the capital of Korea during its occupation and division, since South Korea still claims the whole of Korea. According to legend, Pyongyang was founded in 1122 BC, over 1,000 years before Seoul, and became the capital of the kingdom of Gojoseon, and later during the Three Kingdoms period, it was the capital of Goguryeo, making Pyongyang the capital of two ancient kingdoms before it became the capital of North Korea in 1948. Today they are the capitals of North and South Korea, and they are both the largest cities in their own country. Seoul has a population of over 9 million, compared to Pyongyang that has a population of over 3 million, making Seoul about 3 times larger than Pyongyang. Their economies have had a radical divergence. Seoul headquarters several large global companies such as Samsung, LG, and Hyundai that export their products all over the world, and have made South Korea a rich country. Pyongyang and North Korea as a whole does not host any large global companies. Looking at the economies itself, the difference is just as stark, if not more. South Korea's GDP is over 1.8 trillion US dollars, while North Korea's GDP is about 16 billion US dollars, making South Korea's economy over 100 times larger than North Korea's. People in South Korea are much more productive on average, with South Korea's GDP per person being over 35,000 US dollars per year, while North Korea's GDP per person is about $600 per year. making South Korea's population over 50 times more productive on average than North Korea's population. This difference seen on a country level also extends to the city level between Seoul and Pyongyang. Seoul's architecture is a contrasting combination of traditional buildings and modern skyscrapers. You can see Gyeongbokgung Palace and Bukchon-Hanok Village, but also Lotte Tower and Namsan Tower. Pyongyang's architecture is mostly in the Soviet style, because after it was devastated by bombings during the Korean War, it was quickly rebuilt with assistance from the Soviet Union. North Korea also built many monuments in Pyongyang, including the Tower of Juche, their Arc of Triumph, the Monument to the Workers' Party founding, and the Mansudae Hill Grand Monument. The building that stands out the most in Pyongyang's skyline is the Ryugyong Hotel. These different architectural styles make Seoul and Pyongyang look different as cities. Comparing the capitals of Seoul and Pyongyang shows how different two cities can become, even though for over 1,000 years they were part of the same unified Korea.